Welcome. Welcome to SAP Basis Administration. Before you begin, you should learn what is SAP. What is SAP? A German software company whose products allow business to track customer and business interaction. SAP is especially well known for its enterprise resource planning. SAP is a ERP software. The ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning and Data Management Program. SAP is acronym for Systems, Applications and Products, and it's processing the data. Originally in 1972, five people from IBM came out and established a software company. They started developing the ERP application. It is originally introduced in 1980s as SAP R2, formerly known as two-tier architecture, a system that provided users with soft real-time business applications that could be used with multiple currencies and languages. SAP developed for using worldwide in different currencies in different languages. As a client-server system began to be introduced, SAP brought out a server-based version of their software called SAP R3 or three-tier architecture, henceforth referred to as SAP, which was launched in 1992. So what is a client-server architecture? Client-server architecture is nothing but one server is there for your application and remaining people can access that application or access the data, or they can do work from client machines, and one server or more than one server should be present there, and but end users will work on workstations or end users will work on client system. Let's think this is your server. You install an application here. Clients, client, this is also client machine, this is also client machine. Clients can access the data or application, whatever it may be, different applications, different data from workstations or from client computers. The original data or a file or application is hosted on the server. This is called as a client server architecture. Otherwise you may call it as a two-tier architecture. That is, this is application layer. All client systems refer as a presentation layer. In application layer you may install any kind of application like database, web application or file server. It may be print server, or you may kept some files for sharing, and this is a presentation layer. Clients will access the data from the workstations or end user personal computers. This is client server architecture, and you may call it as a two-tier architecture. So SAP in 1980 as SAP is a two-tier architecture, originally introduced in 1980 as SAP two-tier architecture, and later after 1992 SAP introduced a three-tier architecture, and SAP also developed a graphical user interface or GUI to make the system more user friendly and to move away from the mainframe style user interface. This graphical user interface is used for This client server architecture, from presentation layer, you are accessing the data from the server. This graphical user interface used for presentation layer. Client can install graphical user interface in workstations or client computers, and from the graphical user interface you access the SAP from graphical user interface. SAP originally installed in the server, it is an application layer, and it will be accessed in the presentation layer by using the SAP graphical user interface. What is two-tier and what is three-tier architecture? What is R2 and what is R3 architecture? Generally come here in SAP will have three layers: one database layer, application layer, and presentation layer. Database is a normal referred as your database. Okay, it may be or Oracle or your MS SQL or MaxDB or DB2, like that. All transactions, all your business data is going to store in database, which SAP application will use a background. Okay, backend application. It is a backend application. Database your backend application, and application layer is your SAP application. You install SAP software in this application layer, and the presentation layer is a client layer. Okay, from workstations or user computers who access SAP from their computer, that is presentation layer. If you install three layers on a single machine, that is database layer and application layer and presentation layer, it is present in a single computer, that is called as a one-tier configuration or one-tier architecture. Here, see here, database and application and presentation installed on a single computer. So this is one-tier architecture. When you come to two-tier architecture, database and application on a single system and presentation from different systems. Check here. If your SAP application and database installed, your SAP software and database installed in a single server. This is server, SAP software and database installed in the server, and client will access it from workstations or from client ends. End users will access from different locations. This is presentation layer. So this is a two-tier architecture. So the same as a client server architecture. This is two-tier architecture. So when come to three-tier architecture, database layer on a different system, application layer on a different system, and presentation on a different system. That is, you install database on a different server and SAP software on a different server, and end user will access your SAP from different location, different client system, different work centers. That is called as a three-tier architecture. Yeah, take here. We'll have one example here. Your SAP software. This is an application layer. And this is a database layer. And this is a presentation layer. When user want to access SAP, when user want to check some reports, when user want to access the data from SAP, first presentation layer will connect to application layer. Then application layer will connect to your database layer it requires requested data from the database. Then this database layer or this database will pull the data to the application layer, and then this application layer will move data to the presentation layer. This is a three-tier architecture. Here user may connect directly to the database layer, but in SAP it is not recommended, highly not recommended, and it is a not good practice due to some security reasons. Here SAP never recommends directly edit or view or delete modification anything to the database. Whatever you want to do to the database, you can go through only application layer only. Don't connect it directly to the database. Okay, come to point. This is a 2-tier and the 3-tier architecture. So what modules available in SAP? There are different modules available in SAP for different operations. FICO, FI, FICO, AA, SD, MM, all these are the different modules for your various different needs. FA stands for financial and CO stands for controlling, SD stands for sales and distribution, MM stands for material management. All these are the different modules in your SAP. There are roughly 24 modules available in your SAP for different needs, for your different business needs. We have a different modules. When come to points, we have a basis is one of the module in SAP. So what is a basis? What is a basis administration? What is a SAP basis? The term basis, when used in the context of SAP technology, refers to the application layer of the SAP system. When you think about the role a basis administrator has, it should include various system administration tasks such as managing the database, giving authorizations, or creating the users, or restricting the users, security, background jobs, everything in SAP. As we discussed here in a 3-tier architecture, and SAP basis came from application layer. It stands on the application layer, and various functionalities are there for your SAP basis. And SAP basis is a set of middleware program and tools that provide the underlying base that enable application to be interoperable across operating systems. And SAP basis includes a RDBMS, GUI, that is a graphical user interface, and a client server architecture. Beyond the interface aspect of a basis, it also includes such components as a data dictionary as well as user and the system administration. Basis is the administration of the SAP system. It is a piece of middleware which links the application with the database and the operating system. Basis is the most commonly associated with the graphical user interface to the SAP. So basis can do all these tasks, and here we'll see what are the important tasks, essential tasks of a SAP basis administrator. We'll come to point SAP basis administration itself. SAP basis administrator itself a system administrator. SAP basis administrator should perform all the tasks related to the system administrators. Like here, system administrator stands for various tasks. The task of a SAP system administrator can be divided into number of different areas. Each area represented by a specific role, which is in turn assigned to one or more individuals. It's depend upon your organization. It is your organization level, the size of your organization, number of resources available in your organization. System administrators may be assigned for the different roles in your organization depending upon resources available. Here, SAP basis administrator should perform system administrator task. The system administrator task keeps the system in a good working order and monitor and manage the system performance and system logons related things. If you want to run SAP smoothly, if you want to run SAP without any interruptions, if you want to make 100% high availability of your SAP system, it is very much important to keep the system in a good working order. Then only you can achieve high availability. You can give 100% high availability. So the basic task is system administrator task. It should keep the system in a good working order and monitor and manage the system performance and system logons. And the second task is user administration. It is very important. If you want to assess something, if you want to enter into the SAP, you should prove your authority. That is, you should prove your authentication. You should give logon credentials. So user must enter user credentials. In order to do that, you need to create a user. After user authenticated himself, after user logged onto the SAP, okay, we should assign different roles to different users. We can divide the groups. Each group can perform only group related tasks. Okay, we are not allowing all user to perform all tasks in your SAP. All these come under the user administration. And the third one is a SAP authorization administration. SAP authorization controls the access to the transaction or what can be performed within a specific business process steps. For example, we are giving a user to permitting the create a sales order, but within his work area, specific sales area, like that. Other example is if a user is there, okay, if user is there while something, it is some manufacturing company, they are manufacturing the cement industry. Let's think it is a cement industry. There is a one user, he can sell the cement, but when customer want to give it to the bag due to some problem in the product, defect in the product, user cannot take it back. He should approach with his manager. So here we are giving the user only authorization for selling the product, and he is a not authorized person to take back. Okay, after to take back, we are different authorized person, that is a maybe manager or higher official, anything. So these are the authorizations. Just we are permitting to the one level. We are not giving full access to the users. This is authorization management. And security administration. Security refers to the application security in SAP runtime environment and the system access outside the SAP runtime environment. In the system and inside the system environment is nothing but user creation, giving the password, creating the username, password, and restricting the users from accessing the resources like authorizations, everything. And outside the SAP environment is nothing but protecting your data, protecting the data theft, like that, and security attacks, hackers, to protecting from the your outside environment. And transport administration, background job administration, data backup administration, programmer is there. Here we'll come to transport administration. Before you learn the transport administration, you should learn what is the landscape of your SAP. So come to point here, SAP 100% assure your business. 100% SAP is giving assurance to your business. If you are developing your customization data, you are customizing your SAP application, by default SAP come with some default templates, many templates for your business requirements. If you want to modify any, if you want to change any application, if you want to modify any application, if you want to change any default themes, if you want to modify default templates, SAP directly, there is no possibility. SAP not support, SAP not recommend directly change in production system. You have three systems in SAP. One is a development system, quality assurance system, and the production system. End users will get the data. End user will connect to the production system only. End users don't know what is the quality, what is the development. End user for his business needs. End users in a business directly they can connect to the production system and they can get data from production. They can update data in the production system only. So what is a development system and what is a quality system here? So by default SAP come with many templates. Okay, you can modify the template as per your requirement. If you want to modify any template and if you want to implement any new template, if you want to implement your ideas for customization for your business needs, first you need to create, you need to implement in the development system. You can create here, you can check in the development system, and you can check thoroughly here. If you think it is working fine here, it is not throwing any bugs, it is not affecting any problem, it is not affecting any damage to your quality and production system, if it is not throwing any errors, if you think it is safer, then you can move that program to the quality system and you can check thoroughly here and make 100% sure it is not affecting any other programs, it is not affecting your business data, it is not throwing dumps for any other programs, like that. Okay, if you you tested in the quality, if you think it is 100% safe, it is working properly, everything is fine, then you can finally move that request to the production. You can move that program to the production, you can move the development to the production. Okay, all this scenario, all this structure is called as a landscape of SAP, which fall under the SAP transport administration and background job administration. When all users connected to the SAP, there may be chunk of resources like that, lesser RAM and hard disk or network. You may get any problems like that due to resources. You may face that performance issues like that. Reports will generate slowly. Your connection is very slow. If you enter a T code, you may get output screen very slowly like that. And if you want to run any specific job, if you want to take reports of thousands of papers, if you want to get the reports of your sales, if you want to get reports of your accounts, your balance sheet, like such, if you want to perform big tasks, so here what a basis administrator can do means he can schedule the job. Okay, he can schedule the background jobs, he can run at night times. Generally, why night time we prefer means less traffic at night time, so night time will run background jobs. Okay, the important task of the SAP basis administrator is a background job administration. And another important task is a data backup administration. Okay, regularly maintain the backup. If your system get fails, if your entire system is fail, you can recover from that backup and make your SAP production system available. And SAP basis administrator himself a programmer. If you require, sometimes you may need to write some batch files, you need to write some program files in your SAP. Okay, we'll discuss more about this in our future classes. And here I mentioned some important tasks of a basis administrator. Don't think a task of a basis administrator is system administration, user administration, authorization administration. Don't think to this. Don't think this is the scope of your basis administrator. Okay, basis administrator can perform many tasks in a SAP environment. We'll discuss in our future class. Okay, next move to next step. So fine, so before learning more about SAP basis administrator, okay, you should learn what is implementation phases of the SAP. What are the implementation phases? Different implementation phases are there in your SAP. There are 5 phases for end-to-end implementation. Phase 1, preparation and documentation. And phase 2, blueprint phase. Phase 3, realization phase. Phase 4, pre-go live phase. Phase 5, go live phase. So what is the first phase? Preparation and documentation phase. In preparation and documentation phase, define your project goals and objectives, and here clarify the scope of your implementation. Define your project schedule, budget, plan and implementation sequence. Establish the project organization and relevant committee and assign resources. In a first phase, you discuss about your project, how to implement and what exactly your requirement, what you want to implement, what is your business needs, put on the paper, and how it should be worked out, who are the responsible persons, and what type of server you need to purchase. Okay, and what may be your server load, how many users you want. So depending upon load, you need to purchase a different type of servers, different configurations of servers. Everything you need to decide, you need to put it on the paper in the first stage. You should prepare for the project and make a documentation and make a route map to your SAP project. And the second phase is a blueprint phase. In this phase, you create a blueprint which documents your enterprise requirements and establishes how your business process and organization structures are to be represented in SAP system. You also refine the original project goals and objectives and revise the overall project schedule in this phase. Generally, in a blueprint phase, you can estimate about your project, how much time it will take to complete, and how much cost it would be to implement the project. Everything you can calculate in the blueprint. And third phase is a realization phase. Actual work starts here. Actual work starts at a realization phase. Here, basis administrator can start the installation of a different applications like that, installing the operating system. If you chosen to implement SAP in a Windows environment, you select the server, install the operating system, install the appropriate drivers, install the SAP software like that, installing the kernel. If you are an ABAP bench, install your SAP software, create the copy the dumps, install the SAP software like that. If you are going with a Unix operating system, just to take a server, install your Unix operating system, install the kernel, install the SAP software like that. And this is a job of a SAP basis administrator. A basis administrator starts the installations, and the consultants and the programmers starts developing the application. They are creating the programs, writing the programs, developing as per the business requirement. Here the third phase referred to here, they are executing the blueprint. We created a blueprint in a second phase. Phase 3 is nothing but executing the blueprint and making the work done. Okay, that is the realization phase. Everything should be done in the realization phase only. If everything is done, if they think okay, work is completed, we implemented what we discussed in the blueprint, we implemented what we written down in the uh, we implemented what we discussed in the blueprint stage, phase. So everything is going to implement in the third phase, that is the realization phase. Once the realization phase is completed, we'll move to phase 4, that is pre-go live. In this phase, you complete your preparation, including the testing, end user training, system management, and cut over activities. Like once you finish your development, everything is developed, okay, you configure, developed as per your requirements. So here finally you need to test whether it matches your business requirement, or whether it fulfilled your business requirement or not, whether it reaches your target or not. Everything you can test here. Is there any errors, whether it is throwing any bugs, or is there any problem in reports, what you expected, otherwise whether if it is causing anything problem in your business, like that, everything you can test here. After completion of testing, you should train to the end users how to use SAP for different modules, for financial accounting guys, for sales and distribution, for different modules. You can give training to the end users, okay, how to use SAP, how they need to run, how to check the reports, like different T codes, for which operation you need to use which T code, everything you need to give. And system manager and cutover activities, like that, whether your system, there are enough systems are there not, or this system is capable to run SAP or not, whether this user is able to understand SAP or not, otherwise we'll send him for other additional training, like that. Okay, all cutover activities. And you also need to resolve all open issues in this phase. When you are doing testing, when you are performing the testing issues, you may face some issues, right? So you need to resolve all open issues in this whole phase. At this stage, you need to ensure that all the prerequisites for your system to go live have been fulfilled. If everything is fulfilled, if everything is satisfied, if everything is okay, then only we'll move to fifth phase. Otherwise, go back to the third phase, that is the realization phase. Again, start doing work. Again, work on the developing your requirements. Again, fulfill the all open issues. Again, come to fourth phase. Again, same thing. Again, test here. Again, maybe you might not require training and system management and cutover activities, but you need to testing here. If everything is fully filled, then we'll move to the fifth phase, that is a go live. Go live is nothing but end user using SAP, end users working on SAP. In this phase, you move from a pre-production environment to this live system. The most important element include setting up production support, monitoring system transactions, and optimizing overall performance. Everything will comes from go live. Once your system is go live, means basis administrator work start here. He need to do support, and at the time if required, he need to implement new things and support, regularly monitoring the system and monitoring for performance and troubleshooting, everything basis administrator to do things. Okay, so in this course, what you will learn in this course, after implementation done, basis administrator work start here. So in this course, you are going to learn installing and configuring the SAP. We are covering from third phase, That is from realization phase, installing the SAP, how to install SAP and how to configure various attributes in your SAP. And then fundamentals of SAP system administrator. Here we'll learn what are the basic tasks of SAP system administration. And third one is SAP system administration and SAP graphical user interface. What is SAP graphical user interface? How to install, how to configure different settings, okay, different type of font settings, color settings, resolution settings in your SAP GUI, and system monitoring, schedule tasks, backup and restores. System monitoring is nothing for monitoring your system for performance and regularly checking logs and which T code is entering, how many users are logging for every day or every session, for month, per year, per week, like that fortnight report, everything monitoring your SAP system. And schedule the tasks and backup and restore, security administration and performance, user administration, authorization management, background processing, change and transport management, system maintenance, uh, and solution manager. Thank you. Thanks for your time with me.